Yogah Karmasu Kaushalam.
Hello friends, this is Professor Neelam Panchal from Gujarat University and I welcome you all in this session on centralization and decentralization, factors affecting the degree of centralization and decentralization. Let me introduce you to the topic. Friends, centralization and decentralization refers to the distribution of authority and decision making within an organization or system. We are going to look into in this session the concept and then we are also going to look into how it is affects. So, centralization involves concentrating decision making authority at a single point in the organization, typically at the top levels of the management. Decentralization, on the other hand, distributes authority and decision making across various levels or locations within the organization. Let me explain you the objectives of the session. The objectives of the sessions are defining centralization and decentralization, exploring various factors influencing these organizational structure, discuss the implications for the management practice. So friends, many organizations seek a balance between centralization and decentralization to leverage the benefits of both approaches while mitigating their disadvantages. The optimal structure often depends on the factors such as organization size, industry, goals and a culture. We need to understand this, how it is happening, and for that let us try to look into the nature of business and its influence on the centralization and decentralization. Friends, the nature of a business significantly affects its organization structure, particularly regarding the degree of centralization or decentralization. Let us try to look into the deeper exploration of how various aspects of the business nature can influence this dynamic. So, the first is complexity of operations. Now, it involves high complexity. We all know that businesses with intricate processes like manufacturing or healthcare often decentralize to empower the local managers who understand specific operational challenges. Now, this flexibility allows for the quicker responses to issues that arise in day-to-day operations. If you look into the other side of the coin, that is low complexity. So, here simpler businesses such as retail stores or local service providers might centralize decision making to maintain the uniform policies and streamline the operations, as the operational challenges are less varied. The second aspect here is size of the organization. Now, there are different type of organization and the size of organization. So, if you look into the large organizations, as businesses grow, they often face a wide array of the products, services and markets. Decentralization becomes crucial to managing these complexities effectively, allowing regional or departmental managers to make the decisions tailored to the specific context. On the other hand, small organizations, so smaller businesses typically have fewer levels of the management, enabling centralized control. So, the owner or the small group can make a swift decisions, fostering agility. Third factor is the industry characteristics. Dynamic industries is one type of industries where the businesses in the fast-paced industries like technology or fashion tend to decentralize to stay competitive. Quick, localized decision making can lead to better adaptation to market changes. Next is a stable industry. So, organizations in the stable sectors like utilities might centralize operations to ensure consistency and control, as the environment is less likely to change rapidly. Next is a market position. It involves market leaders. So, established companies with a strong brand recognition may centralize to maintain the control over their brand and a strategic direction, ensuring uniformity across all the operations. Other category is emerging companies. So, newer firms often decentralize to innovate and respond quickly to customer feedback and market demands. Next is a product diversity. So, it includes wide product range. Companies offering a diverse range of products may decentralize to allow product managers to make the decisions based on the specific market needs. Another category is a narrow product range. So, the organizations focused on a single product line might centralize decision making to maintain a cohesive strategy. Next factor is a customer focus. High customer interaction is one factor in that. So, friends, businesses that prioritize customer relationships like service industries, they often decentralize to empower the employees to make the decisions that enhance customer satisfaction. On the other hand, low customer satisfaction and the interaction whereby the business's direct customer interaction is minimal, like manufacturing. So, centralization can streamline processes and maintain the quality control. So, we can say that the nature of business, including its complexity, size, industry, market position, and product diversity, and also the customer focus, are playing a very crucial role in determining the degree of centralization or decentralization. Now, understanding the factors that helping the organizations choosing the appropriate structure that aligns with the strategic goals enhances efficiency and improves responsiveness to changing market conditions is very important. Let us now try to understand the management philosophy and its influence on centralization and decentralization. So, the management philosophy significantly shapes an organization's structure, influencing whether it leans towards centralization or decentralization. These philosophy encompasses the beliefs, values and attitudes that leaders hold regarding management practices and employee interactions. So, now let us look into the deeper understanding of how management philosophy affects the organization structure. The first is a leadership style. So, in that, the first is autocratic leadership. Leaders with an autocratic style tend to centralize decision making. They prefer to maintain strict control over the processes and often make decisions without seeking input from lower level employees. Now, these can lead to quick decisions but may stifle innovation and employee morale. Another point is democratic leadership. So, democratic leaders encourage participation and collaboration. They tend to decentralize authority, allowing team members to various levels could contribute to decision making. Now, this approach fosters a sense of ownership and can enhance motivation and creativity. Next is corporate culture. So, culture of empowerment is another point in corporate culture. So, organizations that cultivate a culture of the trust and empowerment are more likely to decentralize. When employees are encouraged to take initiative and make decisions, the organization benefits from diverse perspectives and a quicker response to challenges. Next point is culture of control. So, in contrast, a culture that emphasizes strict adherence to the policies and procedures tends to centralize the decision making. These can lead to uniformity and consistency but may also result in slower responses to change and reduced employee engagement. Next is attitudes towards risk. So, that includes number one, risk averse management. Organizations with a management philosophy that prioritizes minimizing the risk often centralize decision making. Now, these allows experienced leaders to evaluate the risk thoroughly before taking action, ensuring that critical decisions are made with caution. Next point is risk tolerant management. Conversely, organizations that embrace calculated risk taking are more likely to decentralize. Empowering employees to make decisions can foster innovation and allow the organization to adapt quickly to new opportunities or challenges. Next point is focus of innovation. Friends, the first point here is innovation driven philosophy. Organizations that prioritize innovation may adopt a decentralized structure. Now, these flexibility enables teams to experiment, to develop the new ideas and respond to customer feedback without waiting for approval from higher ups. Another point here is a process driven philosophy. So, the companies focused on operational efficiency and standardization might centralize decision making. These ensures consistency in processes and minimizes deviations that could disrupt operations. Next point is communication style. So, the first here is open communication. Organizations that promote open lines of communication often decentralize authority. Encouraging dialogue at all levels allows for diverse options and opinions and a quick feedback, enhancing decision making. The next point here is a top-down communication. So, in organizations with a more hierarchical communication style, centralization is very important and it is more common. So, the decisions that flow from the top and information may not readily circulate throughout the organization, potentially limiting responsiveness and engagement. The next point is employee development, and it includes number one, investment in employee growth. So, the organization that emphasize employee development and training are more likely to decentralize. By equipping the employees with the necessary skills and knowledge, these organizations empower them to make informed decisions. Next is limited development opportunities. So, organizations that do not prioritize employee training may centralize decision making, as management may feel that employees lack the skills needed to make the critical choices independently. So, here we can say that the management philosophy plays a pivotal role in determining the degree of centralization or decentralization within the organization. Leadership styles, corporate culture, attitude toward risk, and focus on innovation, communication styles, and commitment to employee development all influence how authority is distributed. So, by aligning management philosophy with the organizational goal and employee capabilities, leaders can create a structure that fosters efficiency, engagement, and adaptability. Now, let us look into the external environment and its influence on centralization and decentralization. So, the external environment plays a very crucial role in shaping an organization's structure, particularly regarding the degree of centralization or decentralization. Factors such as market dynamics, competitive landscape, regulatory frameworks, and economic conditions significantly influence how organizations distribute decision-making authority. So, let us try to look into the depth by examining these factors. First here is a market dynamics, and it involves rapidly changing markets. We all know that organizations operating in a fast-paced industries such as technology or fashion, they often need to decentralize the decision making, and these allow local managers to respond quickly to the trends, customer feedback and emerging opportunities, enhancing agility and competitiveness. Another point here is a stable markets. So, in contrast, businesses in the stable market, for example, utilities or traditional manufacturing, may involve and may try to look into what to do in the stable markets. So, the decision making that is enabling the consistency and control over the processes and also as a need for the quick adaptation is a less processing and a pressing. So, another point over here is competitive pressure. It involves high competition. So, in highly competitive sectors, organization may decentralize to empower teams to innovate and improve the customer service. Localized decision making can lead to faster responses to competitors and changing consumer preferences. Another point is low competition. So, companies in a monopolistic or a low competition environment might centralize, focusing on the efficiency and standardized processes as the urgency to adapt the competition is reduced. Another point is regulatory environment. Now, it involves strict regulations. So, industries with a heavy regulatory oversight, such as pharmaceuticals and finance, often requires centralized decision making to ensure the compliance with the laws and standards. Now, these decentralization and the centralization helps in managing the risk associated with the regulatory violations. Another point is a flexible regulations. So, friends, in industries with a fewer regulations, organizations may adopt a more decentralized approach and allowing for a greater autonomy and innovation in the decision making. Next is a economic conditions. Economic conditions involves economic growth. So, during the periods of the economic growth, organization might decentralize to capitalize on new opportunities and respond to increased consumer demand. Empowering local managers can lead to faster market entry and responsiveness. Next point is economic recession. So, in the downturns, organizations may centralize to control the cost and maintain oversight. A centralized approach allows for more stringent budget management and resource allocation during the challenging times. Next point is a globalization, and it involves international organizations and operations. So, companies with a global presence often need decentralize to address the local markets, cultural, economical, legal, and regulatory differences. Local managers can make decisions that reflect the regional preferences and requirements. Next point is a centralized global strategy. So, conversely, organizations focusing on a unified global strategy may centralize certain decisions to maintain the brand consistency and streamline operations across the markets. Next is technological advancements. And the technological advancements include number one, impact on technology. Organizations that leverage advanced technologies, for example, AI, data analytics, and so on, can decentralize decision making by equipping managers with real time data and tools. Now, these enables informed decision making at all levels. Next is a traditional technologies. So, companies relying on a more traditional methods may centralize decision making as less access to information can hinder local managers' ability to make the informed choices. So, here we can say that out of the total discussion on the factors influencing the centralization and decentralization, let us try to conclude the session. We have seen that the external environment significantly impact the organization's decision making structures, and the factors such as market dynamics, competitive pressures, regulatory frameworks and the economic conditions, globalization and the technological advancements, it influences whether the organization centralizes or decentralizes its authority. By understanding and adapting to these external factors, organizations can create the structures that enhance the responsiveness, agility, and overall effectiveness in achieving the strategic goals of the organization. Let us summarize the overall session. Friends, we have seen the degree of centralization or decentralization within an organization is shaped by a complex interplay of various factors, including the nature of the business, the management philosophy, and external environment. Each of these elements play a crucial role in determining how authority and decision making responsibilities are distributed. So, organizations must carefully assess these interrelated factors to determine the most suitable structure for their specific context and strategic goals. A balanced approach considering both centralization and decentralization can enhance the overall effectiveness, employee engagement, and customer satisfaction. By aligning organizational design with the complexities of the environment and, importantly, their philosophies, and the businesses can navigate the challenges of today's dynamic landscape and position themselves for the long-term success. I hope you are clear with all the fundamentals of centralization, decentralization, and importantly, the factors impacting the decision of the centralization and the decentralization. I hope you are clear and I hope you like the session. Thank you. Hello friends. This is Professor Neelam Panchal from Gujarat University and I welcome you all in this session on centralization and decentralization.